Tonight on CTV News at 6. Major increase.
It's going to take a while to get back on our feet, but we'll try to find ways to survive.
Council in Fauquier-Strickland vote to hike taxes by 20%. Premier Ford thinks they're a cash grab.
Hopefully the cities will get rid of them, like Mayor Del Duca did in Vaughan, or I'm going to help them get rid of them very shortly.
But cities like Sudbury aren't putting the brakes on speed cameras. And on this World Suicide Prevention Day.
Chad and I were, best friends. He was my big brother. I knew Chad was struggling.
A North Bay firefighter remembers his late brother.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you were with us on this Wednesday. 4 people were arrested yesterday in North Bay thanks to an automated license plate reader. Around 12:30 a.m., police conducted a traffic stop after an ALPL flagged the vehicle owner as a suspended driver. The vehicle was stopped and the officer spotted a handgun on the floor. A search of the vehicle found 2 imitation handguns, brass knuckles, and small amounts of cocaine and fentanyl. All 4 occupants face various drug and weapons-related charges. And 3 people were arrested in Chiging First Nation Monday when a license plate reader flagged a wanted person. The vehicle was stopped on Highway 551 around 11 a.m. Police say they found more than $11,000 in illegal drugs and cash. The 3 occupants of the car are all facing drug trafficking charges. The man who was found guilty of the 2009 murder of a 15-year-old girl in Sudbury has been granted day parole to attend a substance abuse treatment program. Christopher LaValle and a 17-year-old accomplice assaulted, choked, and stabbed Whitney Vanderwooden while camping in the Minnow Lake area of the city before dismembering and burning her remains. The report on LaValle talked about his personal history with physical and sexual abuse and with addictions, noting that his behavior improved after being diagnosed and treated for a mental illness in 2017. He's since been moved to a medium security facility and is being recommended to go to a minimum security facility. In a post on social media, Whitney Vanderwooden's sister, Hillary, expressed anger and concern over the parole ruling, saying he didn't just kill her, he dismembered her, decapitated her, and burned her remains in 2 separate fire pits, adding, "This was not just murder. This was monstrous, calculated, and absolutely inhuman." LaValle is heading to a residential facility for substance abuse treatment in northern British Columbia. This is day parole for 90 days, after which he will return to jail. Ontario Premier Doug Ford doesn't like automated speed cameras, but the mayor of Sudbury says his city has no intentions of getting rid of the technology. We get more from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
This is one of 6 automated speed enforcement or ASE cameras across Greater Sudbury. Premier Doug Ford recently called them a tax grab for municipalities.
I've driven by speed traps aren't even close to school areas. It's nothing but a tax grab. Hopefully the cities will get rid of them, like Mayor Del Duca did in Vaughan, or I'm going to help them get rid of them very shortly.
But Sudbury Mayor Paul Lefebvre says the Premier's reaction is based on Toronto's 150 speed cameras. Sudbury has 6, and he believes they're helping reduce speed in high-priority areas.
Here's where the Premier is coming from, but basically, how many do we need in a city? Right now, we're very low, and no intentions of growing. We're just trying to help people change a bit of that speed behavior because we want to keep our roads safe, because that's just not City Council asking for this. A lot of our citizens is asking us to step up and keep our roads safe.
According to the city, the ASE program generated $753,000 in fine revenue in 2024, while it cost $325,000 to operate. That revenue is used to offset program costs and fund road safety initiatives. One northern city that decided against the speed cameras was Sault Ste. Marie. Its mayor agrees with the Premier, saying the program is an effort to add money to municipal coffers.
What you've seen in communities that implemented automated speed enforcement is a shift from asking the police to enforce speeding to now asking the police to enforce vandalism against automated speed enforcement. And so it doesn't actually alleviate any of the problems of enforcement or reduce the amount of enforcement you have to do. It just changes the type of enforcement you're doing.
A recent survey from CAA found the speed cameras do change driver behavior, with 73% of those surveyed admitting they slow down when nearing a speed camera. The city of Greater Sudbury says data on the 2025 ticket counts and revenue will be presented at an operations committee meeting later this year. Meanwhile, the 6 speed cameras will be moved to new locations in October. Angela Gemmel, CTV News, Sudbury.
Sunshine was the order of the day on this Wednesday, and the temperatures were also above normal. To tell us how long we're going to experience these warm conditions, let's bring in CTV's Lindsay Alick, filling in for Rick Wyman.
Thanks, Tony. It's hard to believe that we're already into September when it still feels like we're getting some of those August temperatures, seeing around those low to high 20-degree temperatures for your daytime high, and they're going to be sticking around for at least the next 7 days. The other question on people's mind is, when are we going to see more rain and how long is it going to last? I'll have all those details and more coming up in just a bit, but for now, I'll send it back over to you, Tony.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. Last weekend, police officers and community members came together for the 5th annual Tour de Force on Manitoulin Island. More than 100 of them gathered last Saturday in Mindemoya for a cycling event to honor fallen law enforcement officers and the legacy of Constable Mark Hoving of the OPP. Hoving died in 2020. It's not as high as some people in the municipality of Fauquier-Strickland expected. Still to come on CTV News at 6, some residents still aren't happy with the rate hike they're going to face. But first, let's take a live webcam look at the boat launch in Elliott Lake, courtesy of the city. It's 21 degrees and sunny. We will return in just a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Time now for a look at the mayor's chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're dealing with. Joining us tonight in the mayor's chair is Mayor Linda Carlton from Macker. Mayor Carlton, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Ian.
I want to start a little bit with the weather. We've seen a lot of wet and weird weather through the Algonquin Highlands this summer. How was everyone's summer on that front? I know nearby Calvin it wasn't too nice. How did Macker fare?
Ours was pretty good, pretty warm, pretty hot, and we do have an awful lot of tourism in our area, so they were enjoying the beaches and the hot weather. It was pretty good.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the tourism. Like you say, it's very important to Macker. Did you see those visitors up over July and August?
Yes, even since COVID, we've had the numbers are, they almost quadruple in the summer. We have a lot of seasonal residents who enjoy our area because we're recreation, relaxation, and retirement in our area.
That's good to hear, because I know I'm moving to one of those communities that the population doubles in the summer. So that's good.
Exactly.
That's good to hear. And out of curiosity, were they Canadian visitors, American visitors, a little bit of a mix of both?
Well, we have an awful lot of seasonal residents in our 3 lakes in our township. So they're usually every year, annual, and plus we have the Mikisew Provincial Park in our township, who it's always full. It's always full.
I love that. Well, one of the things I'm hearing a lot from your counterparts these days, other small town mayors in northeastern Ontario, is that you're having to do with a lot less, making the dollar stretch. How have things been financially for you? As mayor, I imagine there's a lot on your wish list.
Well, we're still getting some funding from the government on different issues, but we're a small municipality, so we're able to watch the pennies and watch the dollars and make it stretch. And we've got good employees, good work crew, and office staff who keep it running smoothly. No, we're able to get by, and of course, we always could use more.
Absolutely. So could we all, for sure. I mean, I know infrastructure has been a big problem for a lot of municipalities, and your neighbors in Powassan, for example, have been working to keep the arena going in Trout Creek. Are there any projects that you guys are busy with? I know you're probably trying to lend any support to Powassan as well.
Well, we're busy with culverts. It seems like that's a real cash cow right now, and it's trying to get the permits to be able to complete culverts in our area is timely. Then you try and get the contracts in a timely manner too. So everything is under a crunch for time-wise, you know. So that's what we're working on right now. We are doing a retaining wall at our Narrows Beach, which we had funding for. So we're looking forward to that to stop erosion and everything out at our major beach.
Finally, we're down to the last 30 seconds. Highway safety has been a big contention for Northern mayors. I know you guys know Highway 11 very well. What would be your message to the province? Is highway safety an issue in Macker?
Yes, and of course I'm on Phenom board, so I'm dealing with or trying to deal with the 2+1 corridors for 17 as well as Highway 11, and I'm a great proponent to try and get it done as quickly as possible because of the number of fatalities that go on, and plus the road closures. Whenever I'm trying to go to a meeting, especially in the north, the road could be closed for up to 6, 10, 12 hours at a time, and there's no way of getting around it or no bypass. So we really need something to do about the done with respect to the highways in the north. Absolutely. Well, Mayor Carleton, we'll be watching that one closely for sure. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for having me, Ian, and you have a good afternoon. You too. That's Mayor Linda Carleton from Macker.
Thanks for that, Ian. It was a fiery council meeting in Fauquier-Strickland yesterday as elected officials and some residents debated a tax increase. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Taxpayers in the municipality of Fauquier-Strickland are facing a 20% tax increase this year. Council passed its 2025 budget last night.
The ministry was asking us to finally get a decision to get the taxes out so the municipality can have a financial flow, can have money to operate. Right now, we cannot.
Councillors say 20% is an amount they can accept.
It's going to take a while to get back on our feet, but we'll try to find ways to survive. So 20% is good with me.
I support my peers about the 20% increase. If we could have it lower, of course, it would be lower, but we do need to pay our bill. So 20% it is.
Mayor Tremblay says people may find the tax bills high because the water rates are included. Residents in attendance at the meeting didn't want their taxes to go up.
When is it going to end? We had 26 last year. It is so. The question is, we need to know it's going to end sometime.
We're just hearing, let's just raise the taxes. Let's just put it on the taxpayers. But we're here tonight to say no, that's not what we want. We want to find out what happened and we want to make it right.
Tax bills will be sent out within 21 days of the bylaw being passed. The municipality is over $2 million in debt with no help from its bank and had no choice but to raise taxes. The province is working with the municipality and has agreed to give it $300,000 to ensure services continue on the condition council pass a budget and collect taxes. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Sudbury City Council voted in support of the potential creation of a solar farm north of the city. Sudbury Airport Solar LP has proposed building a solar energy project on 62.7 hectares of land near the municipal airport. The project is in response to an independent electricity system operator request for proposals, which requires buy-in from the municipality before it can move ahead. The city will provide the needed letter. On Monday, a family in the greater Sudbury community of Skeed woke up to find their goat shelter empty. The T-Bird family doesn't know what happened that night, but they believe a bear or a large animal broke in and the goats ran off. 4 of the 7 goats took off, 2 of which are myotonic fainting goats. T-Bird believes the animals would stay together. In the past, when the goats wandered off, they were always found in a group.
They're pretty intelligent, and aside from predators, I think they would be able to survive. I just don't know for how long. They'd make it through 40 below weather in the winter, like they're pretty resilient. But so I don't know. I think they would be looking for a type of shelter.
The family has found tracks and signs of the 4 goats still on the loose. The T-Bird family is asking anyone with trail cameras or accessible sheds to keep an eye out for the family's pets. All right, back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Lindsay.
Thanks, Tony. We're seeing a lot of sunshine across northeastern Ontario for the most part. However, a little bit of cloud cover and also seeing a little bit of rainfall around Chapleau at this hour, sitting at 14 degrees. It's certainly warm out there for this time of year, sitting at 18 degrees in Sault Ste. Marie, 16 degrees in both Wawa as well as in Kapuskasing. We're sitting at 18 degrees in Timmins, 15 in Timiskaming Shores, 18 in Sudbury, 21 in North Bay and Parry Sound, as well as Elliott Lake and Gore Bay, and 18 degrees with cloud cover in Sault Ste. Marie. How long is that sunshine sticking around for many communities? What about that temperature? More weather details coming up in just a bit for your 7-day forecast. But for now, I'll hand it back over to Tony.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. Just before a new session of Parliament begins, next on CTV News at 6, the Carney government gets together in Alberta focusing in on big projects. And officials in Poland say they have shot down Russian drones. It is day 2 of Liberal caucus talks in Edmonton, and they were focused on the major projects list. CTV's Abigail Beeman has the details.
Politics is like hockey. It doesn't build character, it reveals it.
More than a few hockey references in the Prime Minister's speech to caucus about fall priorities delivered in his hometown. Mark Carney referenced a budget with tough decisions. There are big questions about how he'll pay for big investments while spending less, and which Trudeau government commitments he'll keep.
This fall, we will release a new climate competitiveness strategy that focuses on results over objectives and investments over prohibitions. Third, we will remain relentlessly focused on bringing down costs for Canadians.
Backsliding on our commitments around climate, if you read values, it'll be a very odd thing for us to do.
Carney said the first major projects list will be announced tomorrow. Radio Canada is reporting no pipelines will be on it.
No one should take any lesson from the first list of projects that this is the end.
What the Liberals need to do in order to actually allow major projects to move forward is repeal C-69, repeal C-48, lift the production cap, remove the policies that they put in place that block these projects from moving forward.
Those signs point to a thawing of relations between Ottawa and Western Canada, strained in the Trudeau years.
I think there's even a thawing of tone in Danielle Smith, but she's still making a number of demands that frankly can't all be met.
The Prime Minister ends his day meeting with Premier Smith here in Alberta's capital. The pro-pipeline Premier has said she'll be pushing for action on what she calls 9 bad laws hurting the province's economy. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Edmonton.
Russian drones were shot down over Poland, according to the NATO country. It says it was a violation of its airspace and calling it an act of aggression. The incident triggering NATO forces to launch warplanes and prompted Poland to take the rare step of activating NATO's Article 4, calling for an emergency meeting of the alliance.
To Putin, I mean, my message is clear. Stop the war in Ukraine. Stop the escalating war, which he is now basically mounting on innocent civilians and civilian infrastructure. Stop violating Allied airspace. And know that we stand ready, that we are vigilant, and that we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk says 19 Russian drones entered the country's airspace overnight, and up to 4 of them were shot down. Russia's defense ministry says it did not target Poland, but close allied Belarus. It says it tracked some drones that lost their course because they were jammed. This morning, the EU called for more sanctions on Russia. And Prime Minister Mark Carney posting on social media that Russia's incursion into Polish airspace was reckless and escalatory. He says, quote, Canada stands with Poland and our NATO allies, and we will remain vigilant against Russia's attempts to widen and prolong the conflict in Ukraine. Carney goes on to say Putin is demonstrating once again his total disregard for the path of peace. Russia's actions following a week of brutal attacks on Ukrainian civilians underscore the importance of our steadfast support for Ukraine. And today, the UN Security Council was set to hold an emergency meeting on Israel's strike in Qatar that is sparking global condemnation. Today, security forces and emergency teams in Doha are still digging through the rubble after yesterday's attack intended to target senior Hamas leaders. Hamas said the strike killed at least 6 people, all believed to be lower-ranking members, and reportedly failed to take out the target of the strike, Halil al-Hayya, a senior Hamas member. The attack now puts ceasefire talks in jeopardy and risks further escalation in the war. Shifting gears now, there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Lindsay.
Thanks, Tony. I'm happy to report that right now it looks like for the most part the forecast radar is clear, and that is going to be the case as we head into tomorrow and for many cases in many communities Friday as well. Now, we could see a little bit of rainfall move into the weather forecast on Saturday, but it's only a slight chance of showers. Let's take a look at overnight conditions, beginning with Sudbury Nickel Belt, sitting at 10 degrees overnight tonight. 12 degrees in Sault Ste. Marie, partly cloudy over Timmins tonight. Chance of showers in Timiskaming Shores and 10 degrees in North Bay. Heading over to Moosonee now, sitting at a cool 2 degrees overnight tonight. 3 in Kapuskasing Hearst. Chance of showers over Wawa tonight, sitting at 12 degrees in Gore Bay and 11 in Parry Sound. Let's take a closer look at all of those above seasonal temperatures and sunshine with your 7-day forecast, beginning with Sudbury Nickel Belt. Partly sunny skies for your Thursday, a high of 20 degrees. Normally this time of year, sitting around 18 degrees, so certainly above seasonal. Partly sunny skies continue into Friday before we could see some showers roll in on Saturday. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, mainly cloudy skies for your Thursday, a high of 22 degrees, dipping down to an overnight low of 9 degrees. Cloud cover continues as we head into Friday, when we could see a little bit of rainfall on Saturday, but like I said, it's very short-lived and only a slight chance that we could see that shower activity before we get back to some sunshine and above seasonal temperatures for your Sunday. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, clouds clearing for your Thursday, high of 17 degrees, jumping all the way up to 21 on your Friday. 40% chance of showers for Saturday before cloud cover takes over on Sunday. We see that temperature jump again on Monday, 21 degrees your daytime high. Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, clouds clearing for your Thursday, a high of 18 degrees, dipping down to an overnight low of 3 degrees. Certainly going to feel a huge shift there. 23 degrees for your daytime high on Friday with partly sunny skies. 40% chance of showers on Saturday, and looks like we're going to get back to around that seasonal mark for Sunday. Finally, North Bay, West Nipissing, clouds clearing for your Thursday, a high of 19 degrees, sitting right at that seasonal mark. We see that temperature warm up just a little bit as we head into Friday, a high of 20 degrees expected. Could see a little bit of showers on Saturday, but again, they will be short-lived. Back to cloud cover on Sunday before the return of some partly sunny skies for your Monday. That is a look at your sunny and above seasonal temperature 7-day forecast. Now over to our photo of the day. And I am so excited to share these photos. They come from my mom and my aunt. They are currently doing what they're calling the Superior Sisters Tour. They've been to Manitouwadge, as you can see. They went and saw Winnie the Pooh. They even saw the goose, of course, in Wawa, and it has been an amazing trip for them. They're driving all the way up to Dryden, so wishing them safe travels. If you're doing a northern road trip, if you have a great weather shot that you want to share with us, be sure to scan the QR code in the bottom of your screen. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
A Sault Ste. Marie Quilting Group is celebrating a milestone today. CTV's Corey Nordstrom was on hand as the Stitches from the Heart Guild presented its 2000th comfort quilt.
For over 30 years, Sioux sewing savants have gathered monthly to work on their craft in a social environment with the Stitches from the Heart Guild.
I'm fairly new with the Guild, and I just enjoyed starting to meet the ladies and getting involved more so that I meet more people, and it's a really good group of ladies, and I just love that they share their ideas and their knowledge. and creativity.
The group has been creating comfort quilts for decades for those who are going through life-altering situations like a health diagnosis or a move to long-term care. The Guild supplies the fabric and has an efficient system of pattern arrangement, stitching, and sewing that's allowed them to donate exactly 2,000 of the comfort quilts.
As we work on these quilts, it's warming our hearts. We're working in a hobby that we have a passion about. So we're bringing passion to making these quilts. And then we give them with passion and comfort to the people that are receiving them.
The milestone quilts are going to Mapleview Extendicare, as have many since the facility's opening in 2005. It's a way to literally and figuratively warm residents up to their new home.
It means the world. Upon new admissions, we deliver them personally with a nice welcome note. And you know what? They love it. It brings back memories because some of those ladies and gentlemen, they all had quilts in their life and they just think it's special.
Creating these comfort quilts is not just for members of the Stitches from the Heart Quilt Guild, and anyone can register to join. They meet the second Wednesday of each month here at the Bay Street Active Living Centre. Info on joining can be found on the Guild's Facebook page. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The North Bay and Area Realtors Association presented checks to close to 30 area charities after raising thousands of dollars at its summer charity golf tournament. More than 50 golfers participated this year, and the tournament raised close to $42,000, its largest fundraiser every year ever. And the money was distributed to organizations that play a vital role in providing shelter, safety, and critical assistance in the face of challenges such as hunger, extreme weather, abuse, or disability. This annual event is in its 22nd year.
All of the food banks receive money. The Santa Fund. We've got every shelter in every region. Pretty much, yeah, like anything, hands, One Kid's Place, lots of different charities.
The Realtors Association says it remains committed to supporting the communities it serves. In Sault Ste. Marie, Every Breakfast Counts provides 9,500 free meals to local children with support from volunteers and community partners. The city says it averaged more than 1,000 meals per week during July and August when school programs concluded. And there was a high-energy fundraising event in Sudbury today. The United Way Centre Aid Northeast Ontario hosted the first ever Big Red Pull, with teams competing to pull a fire truck across the finish line. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
It took teamwork and pull to get this fire truck 100 feet across the finish line. 11 teams took part, raising money to support community organizations.
The money will support over 49 local community organizations who are running programs for the most marginalized in our community. So we have 3 priority areas: moving from poverty to possibility, supporting children and youth, and building strong and healthy communities.
Greater Sudbury Fire Services provided the truck for the first ever Big Red Pull, which the United Way says was such a success it will become an annual event.
That particular truck there weighs approximately 25 tons. It does have a tank full of water in it, so that adds a bit of a disadvantage to those who are pulling it. But once you get that momentum going, that truck will roll pretty good on this flat level surface.
It was awesome. It was a rush.
Once you get it going, it's surprising how quickly you can build that momentum and get it across the finish line.
The fastest pull was in 16.62 seconds by the lead Team 1, made up of mine rescue members.
We got to compete with our fellow mine rescuers. We're all volunteer-based, so it's great when we could get out at an event like this and compete as a group in a team-building event. The energy out here today was amazing. It was good to see all the teams competing for a common goal.
All right, guys, let's go! The Big Red Pull raised $18,000, which will stay local. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
And the city of Timmins has unveiled this year's Orange Bus. The Orange Bus campaign will honor late Indigenous artist Sean Hedican. Hedican was responsible for a mural in the city and offered teachings to the community before his death in 2023. The bus honors that mural featuring a traditional Turtle Island motif. The bus, along with several illuminated signs around Timmins, are part of the city's recognition of Truth and Reconciliation Day coming up September 30th. A pair of Ontario filmmakers are heading out to the middle of Lake Superior, mapping out a whole new world of its deepest, darkest secrets. CTV's Scott Miller dives in.
The research vessel Blue Heron left Duluth this morning, steaming towards a once-in-a-lifetime underwater research opportunity in the middle of Lake Superior.
It's this really unique environment. It's basically this underwater Everest is what we've been calling it anyway.
Covering 11 square kilometers and rising more than 300 meters off the lake bed, the Superior Shoal is the focus of a North American research mission currently underway. Along for the ride to document it all, a pair of Bruce County filmmakers.
There's a whole bunch of species that have never been on camera before alive that are right here in the Great Lakes, and a bunch of them live in those deep waters around the Superior Shoal.
Milnick and his partner have been exploring the largely undiscovered world of the Great Lakes for the past several years with their underwater robotic camera. 2 years ago, while shooting a documentary about invasive mussels, they discovered the 1895 shipwreck, the Africa, in Lake Huron.
We've all seen amazing footage of oceans and sharks and whales, but for the 40 million of us or so who live on the shores of the Great Lakes, there's a whole underwater world out there that we've barely seen.
The 9-day mission will focus on what role the Superior Shoal plays in the extensive Great Lakes ecosystem.
We've been doing a lot of work to try and understand how these things work and the role that it plays in supporting the broader large lake ecosystem. And in Lake Superior, it seems to be really important to these hotspots of high productivity for fish and other organisms.
Durbert and Melnick will be taking viewers along for the ride, hosting a live stream this Sunday of the undiscovered underwater world.
So those are big underwater mountains in the ocean, and they collect life. They're hot spots of biodiversity. And we think that that might also happen in fresh water, but nobody's ever looked at it before. So that's why we're heading out to the Superior Shoal, the biggest one in the world, to check that out.
In the Great Lakes, Scott Miller, CTV News.
This is World Suicide Prevention Day. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. A North Bay firefighter is remembering his big brother and friend. Today is World Suicide Prevention Day. Many are remembering their loved ones who have died by suicide and standing up for suicide prevention efforts. CTV's Eric Tashner has more from North Bay.
Not a day goes by that firefighter Wade Ringler doesn't think about his late brother, Chad.
Chad and I were, best friends. He was my big brother. I knew Chad was struggling.
Chad was also a firefighter for 27 years, but his battle with mental illness ended after he took his life in January 2023 at age 47.
He gave a lot to this community in the fire service, was involved in minor hockey.
So Wade started Chat for Chad, a grassroots charity to bring awareness and resources to the people who need it most. Since March 2023, it's raised close to $1 million for suicide prevention initiatives.
It's been successful because everyone is touched in one way or another by mental health.
Every year, approximately 4,500 people in Canada die by suicide, and it's the second leading cause of death among youth and young adults.
Trying to make it okay and normal to talk and give people the confidence to step forward and have the conversation. If you don't show it, people don't know, and it's really hard to get help that way.
With the help of Chat for Chad, the North Bay Regional Health Centre was able to renovate its patient lounges at its Birch Maple Lodge and in the acute inpatient psychiatry unit.
Comfortable seating, computer resources for them to use, television for their relaxation. Prior to its renovation, we would, if you're walking by the lounge, it would be empty because it wasn't a comfortable, supportive space.
Also, with the help of Chat for Chad, the Canadian Mental Health Association is able to kickstart 2 new programs, an 8-week suicide, grief and bereavement support group and a workshop to teach people to look out for the signs.
Chad would be so proud of our community.
Wade's delighted knowing Chad's legacy is going towards helping people with mental health struggles.
The support that's been shown, I know he's smiling down.
And he knows wherever he goes, Chad will always be there with him. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Schools are dealing with a September spike, a jump in asthma attacks as kids return to school. CTV's Pauline Chan has those details.
7-year-old Benji was diagnosed with asthma as a baby, and his mom says back to school is definitely a time when he gets more problems.
There's exposure to other children who are sick, and he gets sick easily, and when he gets sick, it leads to more asthma attacks for him.
And the Lung Health Foundation says there are other reasons for the September spike, too.
There's more ragweed pollen, weather changes, and indoor factors such as dust.
During the summer, Benji takes a break from his asthma medications.
The main puffer, and in these, there's medicine. There's lots of different medicines that go in.
And in September, his family reviews his asthma plan with his doctor.
The need to talk to his pediatrician about whether to start the medication again or not.
And his school.
So the school is very much aware that he has asthma. And then if he is having a difficult episode, we send his inhaler to school with instructions for his teachers.
Signs for a flare-up usually is the persistent wheezing. So there's like a rattling noise when they're breathing. They have difficulty speaking in full sentences. Sometimes they have difficulty sleeping at night, so they're waking up a lot.
As well as sharing your asthma plan, it's a good idea to make sure all your child's vaccinations are up to date.
I could do monkey bars. I could almost skip a bar, but I can't yet.
So kids like Benji can have a healthy and successful school year. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The headquarters of Algoma Family Services in Sault Ste. Marie is going to get some upgrades thanks to provincial funding. Soo MPP Chris Scott made the announcement at the service's annual all-staff meeting. More than $400,000 will allow Family Services to undertake some critical roof repairs to the main site on McNabb Street. The location houses most of the staff and provides clients with youth justice services or one-on-one counseling.
Without these dollars, there was a tough decision to be made regarding their operating dollars, taking some of those, which is operating as front lines for them. And so taking some of those to make the investments into capital. And instead, our government's coming to the table, supporting the capital to keep those dollars in operating where they are needed.
We were starting to have a number of leaks, and those just continue to compound itself, right? And it is a concern for all those that are in the building. There's the issue of potential mold. So to address that early and get that attended to brings comfort for those who are working in the workplace, but also our clients who receive service there.
The work on Algoma Family Services headquarters is expected to start in 2 weeks and be complete before winter. The documentary John Candy, I Like Me, is currently at the Toronto International Film Festival and will be playing at Sudbury Cinefest next week. CTV Sandy Ronaldo sat down with the creators of the film to learn more.
Who are you? I'm a Mog. Half man, half dog.
Gus Walensky, Polka King of the Midwest.
Del Griffith, Director of Sales, Shower Curtain Ring Division.
I wonder, Colin, I mean, there's a family connection here. Tom Hanks, your dad starred in Flash. And volunteers, right?
Yeah.
So what was it like for you making this documentary with those family ties in mind?
I was a little bit hesitant at first because of those, just because there was a component of it maybe feeling a little bit too personal, not because of a deep personal bond or deep personal connection, but it just sort of I was hesitant for some reason. But the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I thought about what I remember about John, meeting him when I was a kid, and the way that he made you feel, that seemed worth celebrating.
This is a guy who, the minute you see his face, you're going to smile. He was amazingly funny.
Thank you.
John learned that laughing at yourself, that's the target. You don't punch down, you don't kick or hurt other people, if you're gonna hit someone, you hit yourself. And that's what I've done, and that's something that I think I learned watching guys like John do at an expert level forever. And I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm grateful that I got to grow up in this incredible
in the true
country.
north, strong and
in
free.
The true north, strong and free.
And that report from Sandy Ronaldo. There's more mayhem for Lady Gaga fans, and Hugh Jackman is putting together a tribute band in his next film. David Daniel has those stories in tonight's Hollywood Report.
You've created a creature of the night.
Fresh off winning 4 trophies at the MTV Video Music Awards, including Artist of the Year, Lady Gaga is extending her Mayhem Ball Tour. After January shows in Japan, she'll return to the U.S. next Valentine's Day, with 21 North American shows currently scheduled in 2 months coast to coast. Tickets go on sale today.
I need something big. I need something new. What do you think?
You don't want to be a Neil Diamond impersonator. You want to be a Neil Diamond interpreter.
I was looking for the right way to say it, and you just came right out and said it.
Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson play struggling musicians who form a Neil Diamond tribute band in the official trailer for Song Sung Blue. The musical drama about following your dreams, based on a true story, arrives in theaters December 25th. Forever in blue jeans in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The province announced $62 million for road construction to the Ring of Fire. Indigenous Affairs Minister Greg Rickford says the money is slated to rebuild the existing roads in Geraldton. The project will connect Highway 11 with Highway 584, making the road capable of sustaining mining-related traffic. The construction will also connect Webequie and Martin Falls First Nation, which are currently only accessible by air or water. The U.S. Supreme Court says it will decide on the legality of the Trump administration's global tariffs as early as November. The Justice Department is appealing a lower court ruling that U.S. President Donald Trump overstepped his authority when he imposed tariffs, justifying it under a federal law meant for emergencies. The case could have major political and financial implications, with trillions of dollars in customs duties impacted over the next few decades. And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $20.13, closing the day at $36.4660 U.S. an ounce. Silver up 28 cents to end the day at $41.15. Copper up a penny to $4.47. And nickel down 2 cents, ending the day at $6.79 U.S. a pound. And Lindsay is now back with one last look at your Thursday weather.
Seasonal and sunny, Tony. Taking a look at our daytime highs for tomorrow. Sudbury, a high of 20 degrees, 17 in Timmins, and 22 for Sault Ste. Marie. Heading over now to North Bay, clearing, a high of 19, 23 for your daytime high in Parry Sound, and 18 for Temiskaming Shores.
Thanks, Lindsay. And finally, was there life on Mars? A new sample suggests the answer could be yes. A rock sample collected from a dry river channel by NASA's rover last summer contains potential signs of ancient microscopic life. The rock is believed to have formed more than 3 billion years ago. While the minerals in the sample could have formed through non-biological processes, the space agency is hard-pressed to say they did. They examined the data for a year and couldn't find another explanation, but stress more in-depth analysis is needed before reaching any conclusions. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Good night.